Hey there, Giant fans of fun. My name's Thad, the Theme Park Giant, and I'm an avid theme park and roller coaster enthusiast. I've traveled the world, I've ridden over 550 different roller coasters, and I'm bringing some different perspective to it since I'm 6'5" and I'm 275 pounds now. I've lost over 170 pounds the last decade, so I've done a lot of walk of shames on different companies' coasters, and I know all the details that you'll need to know if you're a larger rider in order to be able to ride them. Since I've done all the research and I've traveled all around and I've been booted off of numerous different companies' coasters over the years, I decided to create the Theme Park Giant Big and Tall Ride Guide. I'm starting with the Central Florida parks, SeaWorld in particular, and we're gonna branch out from there. But if you have any anxiety about will I fit on rides, this is your go-to guide. Since I live in the Central Florida area, I thought I would start out with SeaWorld as my first park for the series. We've got Manta behind me, so let's get into it. Manta at SeaWorld Orlando is the park's B&M flying coaster. And if you're not familiar with what a flying coaster is, it's pretty much what it sounds like. You hang under the track, you start in a seated position, but in the station you are actually lifted into a flying or prone position, as we can see going up the lift hill here. And it's meant to reenact how a manta ray feels swimming under the water. It's 140 feet tall, has about a 115-foot drop, and it goes 56 miles an hour with 4 inversions. The first half of Manta is surprisingly intense, and it's mainly because right after the first drop is one of the most intense inversions that I've ever experienced on any ride, the pretzel loop. It does a completely different inversion where you're basically doing a loop kind of backwards. So if you see there, you're actually on your back at the bottom of the loop. And I gotta tell you, it pulls a ton of G's. The entire second half of the ride takes place over the water, including this little effect that makes it look like the train is dipping its wing into the water. You get a little splash effect here. Admittedly, Manta does have one of the coolest queues for a roller coaster that you're ever gonna see. If you're looking for the height requirements, you have to be at least 54 inches. Like I said, this queue is really well themed. You walk through waterfalls. You're gonna go through an aquarium here. SeaWorld doesn't always go above and beyond with their theming, but they did a great job with this queue. just before you get to the inner queue portion, there is a test seat for larger riders. I would advise anyone, if you're not familiar with these rides, to always try the test seat if there is one available. As you can see, persons with large upper body dimensions may not fit in the standard seat. Please use this test seat. Now, it says standard seat on that sign because a lot of B&Ms have a standard seat, and then also what is kind of referred to as the big boy seat. The flying coasters all have bigger seats because the first one they ever built in Georgia did not have any bigger seats, and when Six Flags opened it, one of the execs could not ride during the media day, so they worked with B&M to always have larger seats on their rides going forward. Now for me, a very standard unit of measurement on a B&M ride is 52 inches in diameter. Any part of your upper body, you're going to be a tight fit. And when I say 52 inches in diameter, I'm talking it can be your chest, it can be your stomach, and I'm not talking about what size waist of pants you wear. I'm talking the actual measurement if you measure your belly. So if you're 52 inches around in your belly, I don't care if you wear a size 40 waist, like you're a 52. So that's what you have to go by with these things. Now these, luckily, the calves, plenty of room. I've always had big calves. They're a lot smaller now, but even when I had bigger calves, this was not a problem for me. So yeah, these are actually fairly roomy, especially for B&Ms compared to the like inverts and like the floorless seats. I find the flying seats to be the most accommodating restraint. When you're trying to get into one of these seats, if you're a little bigger, always make sure you get as deep into the seat as you possibly can. B&Ms, you'll typically struggle if you have wider hips or thighs along with that upper body, those upper body measurements. So one other thing to think about, big thighs, big hips, you may struggle because it is like a bucket seat. Okay, I've worked my way in, and now I'm just gonna show you here. Comes down, latches in. I'm actually restrained in here now. The test seat, you actually have to do this to release it, but you can just see how that restraint works. It's actually very comfortable. The only rough part on this ride is when you're hanging at the end on the brake run, because you might hang there 2 or 3 minutes, and it can get a little old just hanging there. But honestly, pretty comfortable seats, all things considered. And as noted, I am 6'5", so I have not noticed any issues being taller on these. I don't have any issues being taller on any of the B&M attractions. It's more of a girth thing. And as we walk into the inner queue, you can see they actually have this really cool aquarium in here. You got sharks, you got manta rays. It's really cool. And this is just the beginning. A lot cooler parts further up.
Speeds and other intense features that may cause distress or injury to persons.
Manta does tend to get one of the longer lines in the park, so it's nice that there's actually something to look at while you wait.
Those wearing casques or neck braces must not ride. Riders must be 54 inches tall. Please keep your hands, arms, legs, and feet inside the ride at all times. Loose articles such as glasses, cameras, wallets, hats, and keys must be secured, left with a non-rider, or placed in a locker.
So I am in the back row for this ride because I do like the intensity of the back row on this. Manta is a surprisingly intense ride, as we're about to find out. Here we go. Now I'm a Manta.
Ó, B, quando desmaia fica assim, ó.
It's such an awkward position to be on a roller coaster. Lift hill is the best part though, because it takes a lot of the weight off of your body. Just looking straight down there. Alright, about to go find out how intense the pretzel loop is. Oh, here we go. We lost something. So intense. I love it. Yeah! Woo!
A Cris, você tá aí, Cris?
There we go. Back couple rows on this thing are crazy intense with that pretzel loop. Whew. And now we're gonna hang here for a little bit. So get comfy. You don't have to wait with me though. All right, giant fans of fun, that is gonna do it for Manta. I hope I've answered all your questions about the dimensions and if you're a bigger rider, if you'll be able to fit. Feel free to leave any comments in the comment section and I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have. Thanks a lot for watching. Get out there and make it a giant day of fun.